My question is for the Minister for Innovation and Better Regulation. Given a third of people in New South Wales rent their home and renters are 3 times more likely to have moved in the last year than homeowners, what is the New South Wales Government doing to address the significant insecurity and costs associated with the constant movings renters face? Thank you. Member for Newtown.
Giving them jobs.
Yes, Minister has the call.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And can I thank the member for Newtown for her advocacy for renters, not only in Newtown, but right across New South Wales. I really appreciate your advocacy on this really important issue, member for Newtown. The government knows that housing affordability is not just an issue affecting residents in Newtown, but indeed residents right across New South Wales. So Australia's traditionally been a nation of homeowners. However, that great Australian dream, as you know, member for Newtown, is increasingly becoming a nightmare. And according to the 2015 Australian Bureau of Statistics, 31% of Australians now live in rented accommodation. So in New South Wales, Madam Speaker, that's around 824,000 people that rent every year. And Madam Speaker, as the Minister responsible for administering the Residential Tenancies Act in New South Wales, I too am one of those Australians that rents their properties. So I want to ensure that renters get a fair go in this state. Historically, renting's been viewed as a short-term housing option, a stepping stone to home ownership. Today, people are renting for longer. According to figures from the Rental Bond Board, in the last 10 years, there's been a 7.2% increase in the number of tenancies lasting longer than 3 years. Indeed, there's been a corresponding decrease of around 5.2% for tenancies that have been less than 6 months. What we know is that renters in New South Wales, particularly younger renters, are being locked into the rental market. And that's exactly why I'm currently looking at options to provide greater protections for renters, not just in Newtown, but indeed right across New South Wales. So our laws need to keep up with the change in this growing and increasingly important part of our community. Madam Speaker, we've already made some changes in this space. With regard to the Residential Tenancies Act to make life better for renters. So some of the things that we've done is requiring agents and self-managing landlords to register with the Rental Bonds online system. So that makes it easier for you to pay your bond and also easier for you to retrieve your bond at the end of your lease. Also allowing email service of notices and other documents, and indeed making rental bond data available online. So more transparency about rental bond data in the marketplace. And I know the great work of the Minister for Finance in making that possible. But Madam Speaker, there is so much more to do in this space. My focus in the coming months is to examine ways to make life better and fairer for renters right across New South Wales. So for the benefit of the member for Newtown, some of the key reforms that I'm looking at the moment are fairer lease break fees for tenants. In addition to that, improving tenants' rights for repairs. So in particular, giving the Fair Trading Commissioner, making them able to issue guidelines regarding reasonable timeframes for repairs, which the tribunal will need to consider when deciding whether to order landlords to carry out these repairs. In addition to that, we're looking at improving disclosure requirements prior to a tenant signing a lease. So more transparency and giving tenants a greater chance of understanding the contractual arrangements that they're entering into. In addition to that, we'll be looking at increasing protections for tenants regarding photos and videos of the interior of rented property, which include the tenant's possessions. And Madam Speaker, I know you'll be particularly interested in this one. One of the key areas of focus for me in the coming months is looking at how we can enhance protections for victims of domestic violence. I know that's a critically important area that we need to be looking at, and I know all members of this House are concerned about that important issue. Will importantly be looking to enable immediate termination of a victim's own tenancy without compensation to the landlord for the early termination in circumstances of domestic violence. So we're looking at a range of measures around that, how to make that possible. In addition, Madam Speaker, I want to make it clear to the member for Newtown that we're looking also to see how we can improve security of tenure for renters in New South Wales. So those options, those are the key areas of reforms that I'm looking at the moment to improve life for renters right across New South Wales. Madam Speaker, I know that this is a big issue. As I said, the rental market is growing in New South Wales, and more New South Wales residents, indeed Australians, are spending more time renting in this state. And I, as the Minister, am just one example of the many young Australians who are caught in the rental trap. Despite my receding hairline, so can I just take this?
Time is it? Oh, really? 2 minutes is granted just in time.
I will finish up on that. These are the key areas that we're looking at to improve life for renters in New South Wales and make it fairer for them. We're not only looking to put consumers first, we're also looking to give renters a fair go. And can I just particularly commend the member for Newtown for her advocacy on this. Ever since I became the Minister for Fair Trading, she has been a constant advocate for these reforms. So I'm looking forward to working particularly closely with her and indeed other members of this House who care about renters and want to see them get a fair go.
Thank you.